You're listening to another episode of Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and Jon.
What's up, Nightshifters? We made it. We are here. It's episode 129.
That's right.
I'm Chuck. That's Jon, the universe's youngest Gen Xer.
That's me.
And I just took my first sip of coffee for the day.
Man, I'm so shocked. First of all, that's not like you.
I know usually I have an hour wake up period.
Yeah, we do the show a little while after you wake up, a little bit after you wake up. You know, we give you plenty of time normally, but not today.
Not today. I'm going to be all right.
I think you are. You claim you got the best sleep of your life. So
It was the best 5.5, 6 hours, 6 hours, 15 minutes, somewhere in there. It took a song and a half to fall asleep.
That's not bad.
I was a little worried about it. I was like, am I listening to half? Do what now?
What's like the warning track? Like, what do you like? Is it the first song? If you make it through the first song, you're like, ooh, I'm a little bit worried.
So let's give the listeners a little detail.
Oh yeah. They don't understand everything we're talking about.
I think I have tinnitus.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when I lay down to go to sleep, my ears are like, it's noisy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a symptom of tinnitus. So some people listen to, birds chirping. Some people listen to, thunderstorms, which I've listened to thunderstorms before, and I can get down with that sometimes. But I have a sleep playlist that has rock and roll, country. Occasionally there's a rap. Most of it's 90s alternative. But so I hit shuffle, and if I make it through one song, I start wondering. If I make it to the third song, I start worrying. If I make it to the fourth song, it's going to be, I got a problem.
Yeah, it's okay.
I got to reevaluate why I'm awake.
So it's like tiers. It's like green, yellow, red, or orange, red.
Yeah, once I get to red, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm not going to fall asleep.
Like crap. Do you take melatonin or anything like that as a night shift worker?
I used to when I first started, and then I got to where I could sleep. And man, melatonin makes me have weird dreams.
Really?
Well, anything I take, I can take Tylenol and have a strange dream.
We've talked about that before. Yeah,
I don't know why.
That is kind of strange because I have zero effects. I never remember my dreams for the most part. It's very, very rare when I remember a dream, and no medications, no nothing really affects my dreams or what kind of dream state I achieve or any of that.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so, melatonin, nothing.
You know those the heavy duty prescription Advil?
Mm-hmm.
They will give me weird dreams.
Really? Like them 800 milligram jokers?
Yeah, and it's not like I usually don't have scary dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I have either fun dreams or aggravating dreams.
Not scary, though.
Not scary. My dreams are usually, I don't really have nightmares, but I will have aggravating dreams. Like, I dreamed one time that I was riding down the road in Griffin, and I was driving, and as I realized that I was dreaming, the road fell apart and went back to like gravel, and then I was walking.
Oh, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying. That's a weird dream, man.
And that scenario has happened more than just that one time.
So what, you're like just not going anywhere? Like you just can't get anywhere? Is that what, like?
Right.
Oh.
I would love to have the dream where you're falling. That would be cool.
I have that every once in a while. Yeah. I wake up from that, but I don't remember how I was falling or what the scenario was. Nothing like that. I just wake up from the fall.
Yeah.
Now your son used to have night terrors, right?
Yeah, Charlie used to have night terrors, and that's freaky.
That is really freaky. I know some other people that have those, and like, there's nothing you can do for the
Not a
poor
thing.
person.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody to have to
Yeah,
deal
and
with that.
they're legitimately terrified for their life, basically. Whatever they're dreaming is as real as it was in reality, as if it
Right,
was happening right in front of them.
and they'll be awake-ish,
Right.
but not
Yeah. Ooh,
coherent. It's wild, man. He finally grew out of it. Finally, we connected that it was kind of like sugar too late would affect him.
really?
Yeah, and then we kind of narrowed it down to, you know, and they just went away. I think he sleeps in the basement now, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
he don't make his way upstairs anyway.
But Sierra used to sleepwalk.
Really?
Yeah,
I
and
think we've talked about this before, but go on.
Mary Beth was always worried that she'd walk off the back deck.
So you guys like, did you have like any kind of safeguards, like lock the back door?
We kept it locked, and like you can't get to this deck. You couldn't get it to it from the ground the way it used to be.
Right.
And we kept it locked, and usually there was not a straight line to it.
I got you.
But
I think I've talked about this on the show once before, but I'll say it again because it's a pretty crazy story. One time I used to sleepwalk too as a kid. So one time I slept walk and called my sister's best friend. Okay. So I called her house because this was
Yeah.
before cell phones and all that, right? I used our home phone to dial my sister's best friend's home phone. And is it giving me a thumbs up?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, that was weird. Um, I don't know how I did that. So I was sleepwalking. I pick up my home phone and call my sister's best friend's home, and her mom answers the phone. It's like 1 a.m. Her mom answers the phone, half asleep. She's like, "Hello," and I'm just saying, "Mama, mama, mama," over and over and over again. And she's like, she could recognize my voice eventually. And she's like, "Is this John?" And so she hangs up and calls back. And my parents got woken up from the phone call because there was, this is back in the day when there was home phones everywhere, right?
Yeah. They had one in their bedroom for some reason.
Yeah. They never talked on it, never used it.
No.
But it would wake them up if someone calls in the middle of the night like this. And they go and check on me. And I'm laying there in my bed with the home phone. Like I don't even know that number. I didn't even know that phone number. This was back when we had to memorize phone numbers as well. I had not memorized my sister's best friend's phone number. I didn't know it, but somehow or another, I called it.
Remember, couldn't you like star 69 or star 67 or something?
You could star 69. So I may have, or star 67, I think would be dial back, right? I don't know.
So.
I think star 69 was like the check who it was. They would tell you who called.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I could have done that. That's a possibility. Or like redial.
Yeah.
Because phones back then just had a redial button. Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. Redial. We don't ever think about that anymore.
So what'd you do this weekend?
Man, we kept the little nephew until Sunday. We had the nephew in the Atlas last week. We kept him until Sunday. So my weekend kind of revolved around him and all that. And we went to church yesterday. See, we started going to this new church. And it's really funny because the pastor looks like Bert Kreischer. Like he looks exactly like Bert Kreischer. I mean, the beard, like the gray in the beard, like the amount of gray in the beard. He wears an Atlanta Braves flat brim cap, and he's got like a big belly. I mean, he looks like Bert Kreischer, and he tries to wear like the skinny jeans and stuff like that. He's Bert Kreischer, man.
Yeah. Bert
It's hilarious.
Skinny jeans. We celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary with Charlie being gone too. So
whoa, congratulations, man. That's a huge deal. 17 years you've been married?
Yeah, 17 years.
I can't believe that woman has managed to put up with you for that long.
Yeah, I can't either. It's yeah, it's it's had its ups and downs, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh?
go ahead. Go ahead. Lead us
So
back
we
in.
went and saw The Beekeeper.
Okay.
Um,
That's the new Jason Statham action movie.
yes, and he is a
Awesome.
keeper of the bees.
Yes, he actually keeps bees in the movie.
Yes, yes.
Cool. In what
It's kind
state? What American state is he from in this one?
of well, technically he's from the British Isles in this one, but it takes place in uh Massachusetts.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's where Boston's at,
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good movie. I liked it. It was John Wick
Mhm.
with a dash of Wolf of Wall Street type villain.
Okay. Okay. Did he did someone kill his bees?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what sets it off?
No, well, kind of. It has something to do with, but the whole beekeeper is a theme throughout the movie.
I see.
It's really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was funny. Um, it was one of those over the top funny action movies
Yeah,
that was
they're my
enjoyable to
favorite.
watch. But it got me thinking. He needs to do a movie. He needs to be the actor in a movie based like a fantasy, kind of like uh, Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies movie.
Yeah, the
But
Vampire
it's
Slayer.
yeah. Well, there's two of them. There's the versus zombies. Have you
No,
never
I've
seen it?
never heard of the zombie one.
Okay, it was filmed almost all in Savannah at Fort Pulaski.
No way.
Yeah, it's strange, just like a El Cheapo movie.
That's
But
awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out.
uh, but it's based on Jimmy Carter, and it's like the peanut farmer.
The
And
peanut farmer, dude.
yeah, and after the presidency, Jimmy goes around doing the Habitat for Humanity, but while he's doing that, he's slaying demons.
Slaying demons, dude. I love it. Does he put on he puts on like a dark cloak or something like that, and he has like a sword of fire, right?
No. He fights this in the Canadian tuxedo that he wears all the time.
Oh man.
Remember those pictures in the 80s of him
Yeah.
in the denim?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Immediately when you say the peanut farmer, I started to think of Jimmy like Jason Statham playing Jimmy Carter, and
Yes.
he's fighting off like warmongering Republicans.
No, that'd be too political. No,
They
he has
want his land to like build a military base or something, a strategic military silo or something.
no, it'd be like because he was a Sunday school teacher.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it plays into that part of him being a Sunday school teacher, but he's
Dude.
going while like if he goes to say, Birmingham to build a house,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he's really going to fight a demon that's in
Yeah,
Birmingham.
dude. Jimmy Carter, the Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. The Peanut Farmer.
In a world that's full of demons, there's one man that can save us all. It's the peanut farmer. And he's out there, checking on his peanuts. And he
How
throws
does he
one into
slay the demon, though? Tell me how he actually slays the demon. Is it with prayer, or is it with peanut oil? It's with anointed peanut oil.
it's anointed peanut oil. He hand squeezes.
Yeah.
So he's out there in the field checking to see if the peanuts are ready, and then he gets a call on the radio, Jimmy, we need you. And he just grabs
Instead of
a
hand
peanut.
loading like silver bullets,
Right.
he's hand
He
squeezing.
just squeezes the peanut oil, and the oil comes out, and he catches it in a vial, and he goes, "I'll be right there."
Jimmy, we want to renovate this house, but it keeps scaring people out of it. Those are the only ones he shows up to. are the ones that Habitat's are the haunted houses that Habitat's trying to rehabilitate. Oh man, that's a great premise for a movie.
In a world
full of demons, and it is.
It is. I should do our intro in that voice.
Yeah, we need a new intro, man.
In a world of cold coffee, there are two men.
We need an intro for a conspiracy corner. So
okay,
maybe after this we can record that.
You write it and I'll read it.
All right, fair.
So you had some weird thing go on this weekend.
Well, with sleep, yeah, it's funny we were talking about sleep so much at the beginning of this podcast. So I what was it, Saturday, I guess? Yeah, it was Saturday. I woke up.
Yep.
It was after 2:00, which is pretty normal for me, just a few minutes after 2. It was like, I think 2:05 on the clock when I woke up. And so I woke up, of course, I had a million messages, a bunch of missed calls, stuff like that. So I'm looking through all that stuff. And I see, we had the nephew still, and I see that his mom and dad sent us like their departure and arrival times and all that stuff. And they were leaving the Dominican at 2:00. So I checked my phone. It was 2:00. I was like, oh man, they're leaving. Cool.
Yeah.
Even though there is an hour difference. I didn't think about that at the time.
Local time.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. It's 2:05. They're getting in the air or something like that, at least. I doze back off. Okay. Wake back up. It's 1:15.
I think you dreamed all this.
You think I dreamed? But my phone was in the bed with me. So I had actually checked my phone, and they had actually sent the departure and arrival times, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, instead of 2 something, it was now 1 something.
Okay, so you texted me this information at, let's see, I'm looking for it to
oh yeah, because I did text you pretty shortly after it happened.
Yes. You texted me all this at 2:10.
Yeah. Pretty shortly, because I got up, I woke up, and I was like, Catherine, I just traveled in time.
Yeah.
Like, I swear it was 2 and now it's 1. Like, what? And she's like, no way, this didn't happen. It was 12. You mistaken it for 2. Whatever. No, man. I think it was like time dilation.
What if it was a out of body experience?
Now, it could have been. We were just listening to all of those out of body, near death experience type things. I don't think I was near death, but it could have been an out of body.
Yeah.
That's potential, man. Have you ever had a scenario like that? Have you ever had like something where it's like you check the clock and you see one time and then you check it a while later and it's back in time? You had anything like that? Or
I'm sure I have, but I can't remember it.
So I'm thinking, it made me think of when I was just talking about like time flies when you're having fun. Like when you're having a good time and you're engaged with whatever and enjoying it, 3 hours can go by like 30 minutes, man. So it's almost like you're fast forwarding time, but I was rewinding time. I don't know. I know when you're bored, time goes slow, but it doesn't go in reverse. I don't know, man. It could have been a dream. It could have been a dream. I could have mistaken 12 for 2.
Well, what time did they text you?
All of that was like 10 something, 9 something.
Like
I think.
If you look at, okay.
It was early in the morning, So I don't know. It could have been there.
Hey, weird things happen when you sleep.
It's kind of a freaky experience. I'm not going to lie, because I really am convinced that it was 2 something. Like when I checked my phone, I'm completely convinced that it was 2 and then it was 1.
Well, I believe you.
It sounds strange, but now the reason you didn't get very much sleep was because of your boy.
Yeah. So Charlie spent the weekend in Pennsylvania learning about race car suspension.
How cool is that, man? That's a huge opportunity for a kid
Th-
like him, man.
I think it is. He's like, Dad, I learned it. Like he called. I talked to him right after church Sunday,
Hmm.
and he's like, Dad, I learned about roll center. I'm like, you did? He goes,
Yeah.
yeah. Everything affects roll center. I said, yes. Everything affects roll center.
Everything.
You change the camber just a little bit, roll center changes.
Yep.
So I was really glad that he got to hear that from somebody else other than me going, well, we can't just do this because we don't, because I'm always like, well, what does it do to our roll center? What is this going to do to our roll center? Da, da,
Right.
da, da, da. We don't know where, like on this car, we haven't mapped out the roll center. So we don't know exactly where it's at. And, and I don't have, I have the ability. So what, like, there's a calculator you can buy, a little
Hmm.
program, and you just put all your numbers in it. Or you can take a big chalkboard or a whiteboard and map it out full scale.
Like, do the math yourself.
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah,
Whew.
and that's
That's
not nothing.
crazy. You've tried to explain roll center to me before. I can't grasp it. For the average person, it's really difficult to understand all that goes into it. And I know you've tried to put it simply, and I can't, like, I understand the idea of it,
Yeah,
but
I can
how y'all
explain.
manipulate it and how you're able to change it and to your benefit, it blows me away all the little things you can do.
Me too. Like I can tell you about it, and I can tell you what can affect it,
Hmm.
but like I can't tell you a lot of time. Like you can't just look at it and say, okay, the roll center is this, and then like our car, the roll center is above ground.
Hmm.
Like a Formula One car, it might be below ground.
That's insane.
You know the where the
Below
actual
ground. Do you
yeah
hear what you're saying?
it's like it is some voodoo racing stuff, man.
Voodoo Racing, but that's a pretty big deal for Oxenford Racing for such a young guy like
Yeah,
Charlie on
yeah,
the team to be going to such an advanced class like that.
yeah.
Um,
For a 15-year-old, I think it's a lot.
yeah,
Um, I think it's a good thing. He's like they did a section on communicating with your crew chief and being able to tell what you need and stuff like that, and that's really going to help us talk because now that he has this knowledge and what stuff does to a car, now we can kind of hash it out and go, okay, so if it's doing this, what do you think we ought to do?
right, right.
So
Well, that's good, man. That's good that you guys will have um, a lot of the same terminology and knowledge, and hopefully he'll be able to communicate with you even better, right?
yeah, now we just got to figure out what we're going to do with it when we have the information.
Well, you guys, when are you looking at getting on the track? When are you looking at running some
Uh,
laps?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be the end of February.
That's not that far away, bro.
Yeah, and this dude, I don't know if we talked about this. He can network like nobody's business.
I think we have talked about that. I
We've
don't
talked
know if
about it.
we've ever
Okay,
talked about it on the show.
so he's been talking. One of our local hobby guys actually runs a series for hobby cars,
Hmm.
and he gets with these different tracks and sets up race dates. Well, the guy that he rode up to Pennsylvania with owns a track in North Georgia,
Hmm.
so Charlie gets with this guy, with the guy at our track, and is like, "Hey, man, I know you run the series. Have you thought about running a race up here at Lithonia? Because they don't have hobbies on a regular basis, and like we get our guys up there. So while they're riding up to Pennsylvania, dude calls him up and he's like, "Hey, man, Charlie said, you got the racetrack now, blah 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 blah." He goes, "Yeah, Charlie's riding in the truck with me right now." And they put this network together, and they've got a date in August for a race up there. So we'll be running Sonoa on a regular, and we're probably going to hit Phoenix City, which is East Alabama,
Hmm.
um, Penton, Alabama, and Lithonia, Georgia. on the schedule this year.
They've got to name that daggone race after him or something, man. He's the Charlie's the connection.
We don't want a race named after us yet.
Yeah.
Usually you're not racing anymore for some reason when they.
Oh, that's true. I get what you're. Yeah, you don't want a memorial race after you.
No, we don't want a memorial race.
But Charlie's the one that put it together, man.
Yeah,
That's freaking awesome.
Charlie put the people together to get it done, and I think that's really, really cool of him.
Yeah.
But so we got that going on. Me and Dad worked on the car Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We did some things to it, getting it starting to weigh it out and figure out how much weight we got to add. So we got to add like 350 pounds to the car. And we've got about 500 pounds of lead, so we're good. We were worried we wasn't gonna have enough lead.
Oh, okay.
And
well,
then,
do you take his weight into consideration at this point, or no?
Yes.
You're already considering his weight.
Yeah. So he wasn't here, so I called Jeffrey up. I was like, "Hey, dude, can you come sit in the car for about 30 minutes?"
They about the same weight?
Yeah, they're close enough. And so he come and sit in the car, and
yeah.
So, there's some things like we'll probably set it up with Jeffrey's weight. So like Charlie weighs 15 to 20 pounds more.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we set it up with Jeffrey and then Charlie gets in it, weight wise, we'll be okay. Cause we don't want to be under anywhere we go.
Right.
But yeah, it was a good time. He had a good time. I had a good time. Me and Mary Beth went out to eat. Look, okay.
Where'd you go?
All right. We probably had the most Griffin date night that you could possibly have.
Spill it out to me, man.
Okay, so we were supposed to go, originally our plans would go to McGuire's over in Sonoa.
Okay.
She texts me and is like, I want to get a fish. I read it as I want fish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, cool, we'll just go to Captain D's, And she's like, no.
Of course
she's like that. She goes, well, that sounds great, but I was talking about I want to get a betta fish.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. So we come home, get ready. We go to Walmart, we go to the pet store, we go eat Captain D's, and we watched a movie.
With the betta fish in the car?
Yeah. It was in the it did fine.
He went on the date with you.
Yeah, Freddie Fish Stick went on actually Freddie Fish Sticks. No, Frankie Fish Sticks. Frankie
Fish Sticks. That's hilarious. Who named him?
Huh? I did. I said he's got to have a gangster name. She was already calling him Frank. I'm like, no, it's got to be Frankie Fish Sticks. So what you got to do is you got to go see Frankie Fish Sticks. He'll get it taken care of for you.
He's got this Italian mobster name now.
Yeah, it's a Japanese fish with an Italian mobster name.
That's hilarious. You got to get a second one, throw it in there. See how bad Frankie is.
Man, them things are expensive.
How much was he?
I think ours was $9, but they had different tiers. They had a $7.99 one, a $9.99 one, and a $19.99 one.
A $19.99 one?
Yeah.
What set the $19.99 apart?
They were pretty.
Oh, they just looked at.
I think they were fantails. Like they all look like they have a fantail, but these they called fantails.
Oh. That bumps it up about $10.
What I should have done was just swap the lid.
Did you get like the stereotypical fish bowl?
No, we went and got this it says it's a terrarium.
Oh.
So it looks more like a glass jug.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's living in. It's got gravel.
Cool.
And, I think we're gonna have a plant.
We'll have to get weekly updates on Frankie the fish sticks.
So Cheyenne loves these betta fish, right?
Okay.
She had one, and she put the little feeding tablet in it and went on vacation. When she come back, the fish was gone.
What do you mean?
It was gone.
How?
No idea. Not
Just
stuck in the filter. Like took the filter apart looking for it to see if it got sucked up in it.
did you have a cat?
No, she don't have a cat.
That is crazy. It was
Yeah.
just gone.
Gone. She was so upset.
How does that even happen?
We don't know. We nobody knows.
Was it named Harry Houdini or something?
I can't remember what her fish was named. I would text her, but she's at work. She's got a job down there now.
Oh, congratulations, Cheyenne. Moving on up.
So yeah, that was my weekend, and it was pretty fun.
That's
So
awesome.
speaking of movies, John,
Mhm.
what's one movie that you could do away with?
I know.
Or yeah, one movie you could do away with.
All right. It took me a long time to think about this answer. I had to really rack my brain to think about a movie that most people love that I don't want made.
Okay.
And it's got to be Gone with the Wind. It's got to be. I hate that movie. It's the most boring movie. It sucks, dude.
That movie is so dynamic.
It sucks. I don't want any part of it, man.
There's a lot going on.
I have not been able to watch more than like 15, 20 minutes of that movie, and I don't know how long. It's so boring to me. It blows.
You haven't
You want to
even
talk
made it
about time standing still? Watch Gone with the Wind,
in, for Fiddle DD.
brother. Now, I did also think about this when I was a kid. Everybody seemed to love Fantasia.
The Disney cartoon?
Yes,
Yeah.
not me.
You-
I
you
didn't
don't
want
like
any part of
Fantasia?
Fantasia. No, don't give me Fantasia, dude.
Wow.
I don't like it. I don't like one bit of it. When it comes to Disney, like, okay, so we'll break it down into two categories. Do you have try to pick a plastic case Disney movie? You know what I'm talking about. The plastic case Disney's for the VHSs. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So like cartoon Disney-ish.
Cartoon Disney. Animated. Not
Animated.
cartoon.
Well, Black Beauty was not animated, but it came in a plastic case.
That's true. Okay.
So I don't know.
Black case Disney movie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And my regular movie, though, was definitely Gone with the Wind. Screw that movie. I can't stand it. I know it put Savannah on the map. Everybody loves Savannah. They got to know it. Huh?
It's in Jonesboro.
Or Jonesboro. Whatever, dude. You know what I'm saying. Georgia. It's all the same. Movie sucks.
I've been to the plantation that they think inspired Tara.
The what?
The plantation that they think inspired Tara.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You visited that plantation?
Yeah, I went to a Civil War reenactment.
Dude, Civil War reenactments are something we don't talk about very much, but I feel like as a nation, if we attended them more often, it would be awesome.
How many have you been to?
I've not been to one since I was probably 12.
Yeah.
But
been to 3 or 4.
when I was young, I went to several.
Okay, so like it was a thing.
It was a thing. They were all the time.
So we're gonna run down here we're gonna see if these old Yankees can get beat again.
Yeah, yeah. It would normally be at some campground or something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out, dude. I've been to several reenactments, and they were all pretty much the same.
I like the cannons.
You like the cannons?
Yeah, they fire off the cannons like, boom, and then you're like, could you imagine 20 of these in a battlefield?
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, that's terrifying, man.
Very
Like
terrifying.
real balls flying at you.
Yeah.
Um, no, I remember there were some guys take it like super serious, and
Yeah.
then there were some
Some
guys who like know that they're just having a good time. You know what I mean?
they're
Like,
still gonna lose.
yeah. Like I remember being able to spot those people. That was always a lot of fun.
So um I've been to the one in Clinton, Georgia,
Okay.
and it was all right, from a spectator standpoint, is the best one to go to.
Okay. Why?
Because the battlefield, you line up on this road, and the battlefield is down the hill, down in a like a down from the road. So you're about 20 foot above the battlefield, looking
Uh-huh.
down on it.
Yeah,
Freaking awesome place to sit and watch one.
that's really cool.
Um, then I went to the one at Nash Farms. That was awesome because they had a real good village set up at that one. So
Oh, like the troops where the
yeah,
soldiers were playing.
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And then the one that I went at that plantation in Jonesboro, it was all like almost in the woods.
Oh,
It was
really?
yeah.
I
So when
think
they
I
got
remember
good,
that.
huh?
I remember going to one that was like basically in the woods, which
Yes.
seemed like it would be closer to reality to me. Like the whole battle can't take place on the field, right? Like you gotta.
Well, if you think about the fact we're you're looking at it from our perspective where there's woods everywhere,
hmm
but back then there was more agricultural, so there were fields.
Oh, so they were, yeah, it was farmlands. They were like
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
crops.
You just go out there in Farmer Joe's field,
Yeah, he's just trying to grow some okra
yeah, and you're like, and
or
he's like, my
tobacco.
okra,
I guess there was a lot of tobacco down here at that time.
cotton.
Cotton, tobacco, yeah,
He's
all
like,
that.
my cotton, you're blowing up my
Peanuts and
cotton.
pecans. There was lots of those too.
You know, he looks at Big George. You get out there and tell them to stop blowing up my cotton. Yes, sir. Yes, I'll go out there.
Dude, that might play into the Peanut Farmer movie. It might be like a generational thing that gets handed down. This Demon Slayer thing, like people have been
Oh,
slaying demons on the peanut farm in Georgia since the Civil War time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. My
Just
country
saying.
needs me.
What's your one movie that you could do away with?
Okay, immediately when this question was posed, it come up Star Wars.
That's your one movie you wish was never made?
Yep,
The whole series?
I like Star Wars, but if it was never made, okay. And George Lucas was a relatively unknown writer director, right at the time. Okay, so if it was never made, do you know what the number one movie of 1977 would be?
Footloose?
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, Smokey and the Bandit. That's right. I did know that.
All right, by a relatively unknown director, um, Hal Needham. So, if if it hadn't come out, we could live in the world where Smokey and the Bandit has a theme at Disney World instead of Star Wars.
Wow. Wow. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah,
But
this is space time continuum type fix.
so but you're kind of assuming that Smokey and the Bandit would totally take the place of Star Wars. Like everything that Star Wars has been
Yes.
through, Smokey and the Bandit would go through.
Yes, because it was the number one movie. It was the number two movie. The only movie that beat Smokey and the Bandit that year was Star Wars.
Right. I recall. I remember
Yeah.
when we did Smokey and the Bandit as movie of the month, man. I remember learning about all that. Now, that's kind of crazy to think about because Star Wars has all these little spin-offs now and stuff. Can you imagine like Jackie Gleason's spin-off from Smokey
Yeah,
and the Bandit?
like the instead of the Mandalorian, you would have Sheriff Buford T. Justice's origin story.
Right. Right.
You know, how did he become? You know, it starts out he's just this deputy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people would have like their favorite little tiny characters that help them out along the way.
Right.
You know, just like in Star Wars, like there's these little tiny roles that people just love and they get attached to.
You could make a whole series on the prequel of Bandit and Snowman getting together.
Absolutely. A whole
And
series.
how they got to that point of from being just regular old truckers to these, bootleggers.
So it
Or
would
like,
almost make sense to make it in the order of Star Wars as well. Like have like 3
yes,
and then go
yes,
back and do like a previous 3, like a prequel 3 and then another
yes, yeah.
3.
And then like, like at the end of number 1, they went to Boston and got some clam chowder.
Yes.
All right. So that's a series by
Boom.
itself.
Yeah.
That's a series by itself. Let's see. I think the song's The Ballad of the Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's talking about having to come down Mont Eagle with no brakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole scenario that you could put into these prequels.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's all laid out. The whole canon.
And can you imagine, like,
Is laid
think
out.
about like when The Force Awakens or whatever, like the newest 3 Star Wars, and she's got to go find the old washed up Luke Skywalker, and instead someone's going to find the old washed up bandit, old washed up bandit.
Old washed up bandit. What's his name? Snowman's got all those kids.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It
so
would be one of Snowman's kids.
it would be one of Snowman's kids.
Jeez.
Instead of the Millennium Falcon being on it. Huh?
We've written 2 movies.
We've written 2 very good movies.
And totally separate of each other as well, by the way.
Yeah. Well, they could exist in the same universe.
Dude, yeah, because Bandit's illegitimate son has got to go away to the peanut farm on Tatooine to grow up.
No, man, it's in planes.
In planes, right? In White Plains. We can finally use White Plains.
Okay.
Thank you. It can be made up for our movie. I can finally be right about something.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
We can take some. We can take some creative
small liberties
there. But yeah, so Star Wars.
Star Wars is your movie, huh? What about a plastic case Disney movie? Can you think of one that you could not stand? Huh?
Lion King.
No.
Yeah.
You can't stand Lion King?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorites.
I do like some of the songs from it though.
Oh yeah.
Matata.
Yeah.
Means no worries.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's awesome, man. I think we need an ad break on that note.
Man, I tell you what, when I get my little studio down there, I'm gonna have a cushy chair. Because this chair is not cushy. It's the opposite of cushy.
Yeah, I have a really hard chair, but I like it. It's a boss chair. It's like an executive's chair. It's got the good butt cutout in it.
Oh, this one's flat.
Flat butt.
Yeah, flat piece of plywood.
Dude, if I could show you the cutout in this chair, it's perfect.
Oh, it's got a nice little dish.
I mean, perfect little butt cut.
The kind of where it looks like it looks like it was worn in there.
Yeah, dude.
Years of use.
Yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's the perfect. Like you just slide right. It's a wooden chair, totally wooden, but it just hugs you, man. You feel good.
And we're back. So, John.
Yes.
What you got?
Oh, thanks. You handed it right off to me. So this story is absolutely crazy, in my opinion. Alabama executes a man with nitrogen gas, the first time the new method has been used. So this is really, really crazy. I'm not even a big fan of the death penalty myself, but that's neither here nor there. We don't even have to talk about that. But the fact that Alabama executed a man by nitrogen gas is pretty insane, man. It's the first of its kind. A lot of people are calling it inhumane. A lot of people are saying it's experimental. Alabama, of course, the state of Alabama says that the method is completely humane. Now, what I found also interesting is that this man they had tried to put him to death before.
Yeah.
By lethal injection, and it did not work. I guess they couldn't find a vein or something like that. So that was actually what made Alabama stop using lethal injection,
Right.
I think, was his case.
Okay, so here's my opinion on that part.
Okay.
If you're sentenced to death,
Mhm.
which I'm kind of I am a death sentence supporter. Okay. Most of the time, but if you somehow elude your first attempt like that, like
Mhm.
for whatever reason he didn't make it,
Mhm.
that's an automatic just life in prison.
Oh, really? You think okay.
Like if you was through the firing squad and you did the whole freaking Ernest P. Worrell thing and the bullets couldn't touch you. You know,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Then you get a stay of execution and you just spend the rest of your life in jail.
It seems fair to me, man. It seems legit to me. I can't imagine being that guy and being up there in the little room with
Strapped
the
to the board.
clocks. I mean, everything. The people are there watching. It's all set up, and they just can't find your freaking vein.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh, that's terrifying. Now, I guess I should address it a little bit since I said I don't agree with the death penalty. I'll say this. What I've come to the conclusion of is that I value human life, not based on what it has done, hasn't done, what it will do, what it won't do, nothing like that. I value human life.
Okay.
Part of that's a big driving factor in why I don't like war. I don't want war. I don't, especially the wars that we're fighting nowadays don't really seem like we should be fighting in them. Things like that. So that's my thing with the death penalty. I value human life. I don't really agree with abortion either, and I don't agree with the death penalty.
Yeah, I understand you. I mean, we've had that conversation, and you've kind of, but at the same time,
I know that's a controversial thing to say.
It's very controversial, but
most people agree with capital punishment, and I get why. I agreed with capital punishment for the majority of my life. It was just this. At some point, maybe I got soft, and
I think there's some people that they get to a point to where they're inhuman, and I think that drives it.
Like so hard of heart,
there's people that's gotten murder convictions and not gotten a death penalty, and you're like, well, that person was kind of a piece of crap, but what about a pedophile? I think they ought to all be killed.
Yeah, that's a funny one. What do you think about castration? Just castrating all pedophiles.
Castrate them and then make them wear a scarlet letter on their forehead.
And keep them in jail?
If we're not going to kill them.
And keep them in jail?
I don't know. Maybe keep them in jail or cut their hands off. Make it very embarrassing if we're not going to kill them.
I see. Cut their hands off.
Yeah, cut their hands off, where they cannot violate another kid.
Oh man. That'd be so messed up to have to walk around with no hands for the rest of your life.
and a big P on your forehead.
Oh, dude, tattooed and red.
Yeah, so everybody knows.
Or a brand? Should we
Yeah,
brand
no
them?
brand, definitely a brand. Either that or cut it in there with a knife, like on Inglorious Bastards.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ugh. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on like capital punishments like that. I don't know where I stand on that sort of thing. I have not thought that through all the way to make a decision yet. Like I've thought about castration. I haven't made my mind up yet how I would feel about, like, if I don't agree with the death penalty, would I agree with X, Y, and Z? You know what I'm saying? There are alternatives, right? So
Right.
those are the things I'm still kind of thinking through, but I don't necessarily agree with the death penalty. And when I found out that it was more expensive to sentence someone to death than life in prison,
Oh yeah.
it's way more expensive to sentence them to death.
Yeah. So down at Jackson, when they have an execution, they've got DNR has to come in and patrol the river. Right there, it runs by it. There's all kinds of people they got to pay to do this, security and all.
Right. And what's fascinating to me is that the majority of the cost, there's that, and then there's a lot of the cost comes from how many appeals you'll go through for a death penalty. Like literally up until the day, pretty much, there's appeals.
Yeah.
And so having to pay the judges and the attorneys and all of those people to staff the courtroom that many times is one of the real driving factors. Whereas throwing them in prison for the rest of their life to where they could never really do anything again.
And then
I know that sounds terrible too, but
and right now, do you even trust the court system to do the right thing?
I don't.
The way things are.
No, I don't think the justice system is necessarily serving justice at all times anymore.
No. So
I mean, especially not right now with our former president Trump, with all these indictments and none of them sticking. Like I still don't understand what any of these they're for these things that never, like, there had to have been laws broken for for these indictments to make any sense. There's no crimes for these laws to make sense, or for these indictments to make sense. I mean,
right.
I'm just not following everything with that. So yeah, no, I've lost a lot of faith in the justice system.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but you know what we haven't lost faith in?
What?
Auto auctions.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Trump, there was a huge auto auction.
So Barrett Jackson, if you're not familiar with, is the biggest classic and collector car auction in the world. Especially for whatever reason, the January version of this auction. They have like 4, maybe 1 a quarter. The January one is the biggest.
Yeah.
And Trump's 1997 blue Lamborghini Diablo went across the block.
Yes.
For $2 million.
Whoa. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that a record? That sounds like a record.
Probably for a Diablo, because it's not it's a Diablo. I mean, they're cool cars, but
that's got to be a record for a frickin'. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a Diablo. Like that's a $250,000 or $750,000 car, right? Like tops.
Probably,
if you get the top of the line Diablo, you probably spent $750,000 on it.
Probably. And,
that's wild, man.
And it was a good looking car. I'm not crazy about the blue. I think Lambos should be red or white.
Red or white only?
Yeah.
What about black?
The black Lambos to me, especially the Diablos, didn't flow right. They looked. It made them look cheap for some reason.
I see. Like plastic.
Yeah.
I can get that. I see where you're coming with that, because I'm picturing it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
You
almost
see
turns
that.
to like that Batmobile, like
Yeah. You see that black. You see it in your head.
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
the lack of detail that the black paint jobs give those cars
Right,
is not a good thing.
right.
Um, so yeah, white or red Lamborghinis, and the
Interesting.
blue it was okay, but it was just like it didn't look
Yeah.
very, you know.
Now, I started to read an article on this earlier, and before it even mentioned the price, because I never even got to the price, so
Yeah,
I was shocked it sold for so much. The article mentioned that the Lamborghini rolled over the auction floor to a roaring applause.
dude, I watched the video. The place went nuts.
Really?
It went nuts when they said it was Trump's Lamborghini.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So,
Now, is that just because it's a bunch of one percenters in there?
well, I mean, you know, we're not going to that anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, you have to have money, right? To
yeah.
even go to that.
So I looked it up one time, and to get on the floor to get an auction number,
Hmm.
you had to have at least 100,000 to spend on a car.
Good grief. My gosh, Chucker. Yeah.
And we know a guy that him and his dad go out there.
Yep.
They used to go every year. They didn't go this year, but
That's
they
pretty wild.
yeah
That's
yeah.
pretty. He didn't get to go. He didn't go this time.
No, they didn't go this year. He was at work all week. So
Oh, dang.
last year they went and they just went as spectators
I see. No
and
bidding.
no bidding. But they did buy a Bronco out there one year. That Bronco they got come
Oh,
from
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. It's an orange one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really cool looking car, man.
yeah. So it's it's weird to
Yeah,
think that cars go for that much money.
I can't imagine. A Lamborghini Diablo goes for
Yeah,
$2 million.
yeah.
Jeez, dude.
I
Jeez.
remember
What world are we living in?
I used to be obsessed with that show, like because I would get to see cars that I've never seen before,
Yeah.
and so I would watch it every year. And used to get $1 million, you had to have a Duesenberg,
Mm.
which is the supercar of the 20s. Um, but now there's just regular cars going for $1 million, and then
It's
you get
really
two
wild.
million.
It's really wild.
Yeah, so I don't
That's
know.
got to be a record for that Lamborghini. There's no way. It has to be a record.
Yeah, so
That's so much money for a Lamborghini, man.
now
Well, that
yeah, that's a lot of money for a Lamborghini. Now this other thing we got on the notes come up in Sunday school yesterday.
yeah, this I didn't see this. It popped up on me last minute.
Okay,
I have no clue what this is about. Lay it on me, dude.
Alexa, play Metallica. Okay, says maybe somewhere somebody's Alexa's playing Metallica. So they were talking about the Alexa,
Uh-huh.
Alexa play. Um, so they were talking about one of their kids said Alexa lives in the cloud.
Hmm.
Okay, and then I'm like, oh, Alexa's a who? Like I'm
You
making show.
Alexa
I'm
is a
making
who?
huh? Alexa
Like
is a who
from Whoville.
from Whoville. She lives in the cloud.
No, on Horton Hears a Who, didn't they live on like a little speck of a
Dust or something.
flower or something?
Yeah, but that's that who's.
Oh, that's
But
just
the
those.
who's down in Whoville in the Grinch, they lived in a snowflake in a cloud.
Oh man.
Yeah. So Alexa is a who.
Alexa is a who. And she listens to everything, man.
Everything.
Everything. And that was the thing with the who's, right? They could hear. They had like this thing where they could hear, right?
I don't know.
In Horton Hears a Who, there was a way that they were like able to hear Horton.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing.
I
So,
thought Horton did all the hearing. I haven't.
well, he did listen to the who's.
So we watched all those movies, but I think I slept through them.
Yeah, Liam loved him when he was a kid because I think it had come out kind of recently.
Yeah.
But,
I remember all those movies. Like, I've never seen Frozen all the way through.
oh my gosh, you
I
love
would
it.
fall every time the girls would play that on a Saturday evening. Gone,
Man,
gone with a quickness.
it's been on repeat in my house since the first girl was born.
Yeah. So our repeat show like that was SpongeBob.
Ah,
I've only been married 17 years, but I feel like I watched SpongeBob for 20.
oh man, that's hilarious. We've never had a SpongeBob kick here.
Really?
Nope, never been on a
We've been on
SpongeBob kick in this
SpongeBob.
house.
We might have had a little bit of a break, just a little one,
Just a little.
just a little one. And then,
uh,
what about Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
now, when when all of them were really small, they loved Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but they outgrew it by like 2 or 3.
Oh wow, that was quick.
Yeah, most of them were short-lived with a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
What about Caillou?
Ugh, Liam loved Caillou. He
Yeah,
always wanted to watch Caillou.
Charlie liked it too, and Cheyenne didn't like it because she said Caillou had a bad attitude, and it was teaching kids bad attitudes. I'm
He
like,
did.
Cheyenne,
He was one of the most whining little kids.
Cheyenne, you're 12.
Didn't you? Did you ever listen to him?
No, man.
Oh, dude, that kid's whining all the time. Caillou's a little weasel. I couldn't stand
I
him.
kind of wasn't like I monitored what they watched, but I didn't like examine it. Does that make sense? Like I
Yeah,
didn't. I was
yeah,
like, okay, if this is what you want to watch.
yeah.
I think it was like when Mary Beth worked Saturdays and Charlie was little. I would sit there and watch like Breaking Bad on my phone while he's watching TV.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you got to watch Breaking Bad with the headphones, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Hey,
All
man,
right.
it's your turn to bring the conspiracy corner.
Okay, so since we're talking so much sleep,
Yep.
let's talk about the Russian sleep experiment.
Okay. And this is conspiracy or this is true?
We don't know.
Okay. So conspiracy for now.
So the Russian sleep experiment is a creepy pasta which tells of the tale of 5 test subjects being exposed to an experimental sleep inhibition stimulant in the Soviet era scientific experiment, which has become the basis of an urban legend. Many news organizations, including Snoops, which do we really believe Snoops?
No.
Um, now know that it is a creepypasta being posted in 2010. But here's the plot of it. The story recounts an experiment in 1947 that basically they would put gas in the room they were in to keep them awake,
Mm-hmm.
and the lack of sleep transformed them into violent, zombie-like creatures addicted to the gas.
What?
Yeah, at
What
the
kind
end
of
of the
gas
story,
was
I don't know. It's Russian gas.
it? Russian gas. That's
In the story, everyone dies except for one scientist left to tell the tale of the Russian
oh,
sleep
are
experiment.
you serious? That's the story is that one guy survived?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How long did they supposedly keep these people awake?
Um, I've read it before, but it was a really long time. So
How
it
long
takes
do you
it, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
It takes it past. So what's your average meth head stay up? About 5 days?
Yeah.
I think it was 30 in the story.
What?
Yeah, it was a long time. It was
I
a
think
lot
the
long.
Guinness Book of World Records is like 9 days.
Yeah. Yeah, so it turned sleep deprivation turned and the gas turned them into zombies.
That is absolutely crazy. There's got to be something in that gas. It's got to be more than just sleep deprivation, right?
You would think.
I mean, come on. That's a crazy conspiracy. The Russians are always up to something, though. So I could see that one being true. I could totally see it being plausible.
Yeah, that's plausible. And of course we would say it's not true because the
Yeah.
Russians did it.
Dude, I'm sure we've done stuff like that before.
Oh, definitely.
The Stanford prison experiment was a crazy one, right? Like, and that one's totally true.
I think they're trying to debunk that one now too.
Well, they're not necessarily trying to debunk it, but they are showing some of the biases in the experiment. They're showing like
they were kind of led on a little bit.
Absolutely. The officers and guards and things like that were led on. And I guess to an extent, the prisoners as well at that point. But yeah, so not necessarily, they're just saying that it doesn't carry as much weight anymore. That's
right.
How about a meme, dude? You got a meme for me this week?
Yeah, I got a meme for you. There you go.
Boom, pulling it up. How about them Chiefs?
Taylor is going to the Super Bowl.
Yep. So we all saw it coming, man.
I mean, it's been in the works since the beginning of the season.
Besides this whole conspiracy that you've been talking about, where they put the team's colors in the logo or whatever that are going to make the Super Bowl, because that would have been 49ers and Ravens.
Right.
So
but they had to change it because everybody was onto it.
That's right. We knew that. I called that last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we expected a change, and boom, would you know it? It happens to involve Taylor Swift attending the Super Bowl.
So you have to describe this meme.
It's number 16, Taylor, right after a hard-fought game, bent over on her knees. Looks like a smoke in her hand. What is that? A cigarette?
Yeah, I believe this would be an AI depiction of Taylor.
Yeah.
And the reason this is our meme this week is because I wanted to capture this meme before the Swifties had a chance to protect Taylor.
Absolutely, man. Protect Taylor was a big deal last week. We're not having it here on Last Night's Coffee.
We're not having it. We're not protecting Taylor.
Nope. Free speech right here.
That's right. So what happened was there was a bunch of nudes of AI-generated nudes of Taylor Swift put on X,
I guess.
Twitter,
yeah,
whatever.
Twitter.
Did you know if you go to customer support, it still says Twitter?
I did not.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the Swifties banded together to get them scrubbed from the internet. Now, there was an article you read about this that said it could happen to you. If it can happen to Taylor, it can happen to you.
That's right.
And I was like, freaking awesome. You know, they're going to make some nudes of me muscular and well endowed.
That's right.
I have no problem with that. If AI can do that, more power to them.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a filter out right now on Snapchat, Instagram, whatever those filter using apps are.
I don't think it filters that part.
It can't give you a few inches.
I don't think it can do that.
It can't take away a few and give you a few.
Yeah. We don't have that kind of body modification app yet. But
it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
So that's the meme, y'all. Did you get the picture of the steak from Dollar Tree?
I did. I saw the picture of the steak. That was you
at the Dollar Tree taking a picture of a $3 ribeye.
Awesome. And is that the steak you want to use with Chef Drew?
Yes. That is the Dollar Tree steak. It does exist.
All right. Next time you're there, you've got to buy one.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get one and stick it in the freezer. I don't think you're going to hurt it.
No. You freeze that joker and
it's already frozen.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, we're gonna do dollar or not.
Yeah, dollar or not. It's gonna be a crossover with the Cooking Chambers. That's the name of his.
The Eating Chambers, man. Shout out to Eating Chambers. Yeah, everybody check out the Eating Chambers on YouTube. We're on YouTube now. check us out there. Make sure you check out the Eating Chambers as well. We got Chef Drew on there. If you don't know Chef Drew, he's been on a bunch of our previous episodes.
Yep. We're going to have him on this year.
Yeah.
Dad asked me when we were going to start doing video this weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, 3 weeks ago, Dad. 3 weeks ago.
First of the year,
Dad.
Dad.
Tell me. You didn't tell me. I said, I didn't think you'd watch it anyway. So,
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know who all watches. I know we're still getting some views. I know people are still listening. We're getting some interaction.
They're steadily climbing.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
Yep. I do want to shout out one of our favorite listeners, Kevin Drum. It was his birthday on the 25th of January. So shout out to Kevin.
How did you know this?
He actually commented on one of our YouTube videos.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he comments on one of our YouTube videos. So happy birthday, Kev.
Happy birthday, Kev.
We appreciate everything you do, all the support you give us. We love you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah. We I had a listener come up to me at church yesterday and shake my hand and tell me how much he enjoyed the show.
There you go. So, that's awesome. Oh, and shout out to Mary Beth for putting up with you for 17 years.
Yep. And the Uno tournament, we're still trying to figure all that out.
Oh yeah. We'll put a note in next week's notes to decide on that before the next show. How about that?
Yes. Yeah. We got to get that. I think it's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be a great Uno tournament.
And if we don't focus on it, I'll get focused on racing and forget all about it.
Yeah. We're not going to let this go by the wayside. We still have to go visit the Dawson Forest at some point. And now that we're on YouTube, we could videotape our trip to the Dawson Forest.
Yeah.
We need to do that one weekend, man. Let's get over there, and we can do it all in your truck and stay warm. We don't even if it's cold.
Yeah, my truck might not make it, but let's try.
It would.
Actually, we can't stay warm in my truck.
Well, yeah, we don't know. We'll probably stay warm in your truck. How about that?
We'll stay warmer.
Warmer. That's right. Thanks for listening, Nightshifters. We really appreciate it.
See you next week.